Good morning. 555. Getting down to the quintessential wound. I'm doing something today that I've never done since I started these daily videos, and that is I didn't put a shirt on. And I've had a hang-up about that because I feel I should always have a shirt on, and yet I'd have no problem going into my front yard or to my mailbox or mowing my lawn or working out in the yard or going to the beach without a shirt on. And yet I've had a real hang-up about doing a video without putting a shirt on and covering my shoulders and my chest. That's all you're going to see. I'm not going to stand up. I'm in my underwear, but as somebody would say, that's too much information. Now, I actually did an issue of Paradox once. The entire issue I wrote and prepared and did 100% of the work without any clothes on. I don't usually run around the house naked anymore. I usually at least have my boxers on or my shorts. In any case, the title today is Wounding Our Own Innocence. And as some of you, I can't remember who all I've told people, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the thing that I'm in Margie's workshop, Margie's level 2 workshop for this entire weekend. Began last night, and I wrote a little blurb here this morning. Last night in the workshop we did an exercise about judging, hurting, and lying. It was really about forgiveness. Who or what do we have the greatest difficulty forgiving? For me, it is myself. And child abuse, or said another way, wounding my own innocence. How much am I willing to plumb the depths of me in order to discover the truth that will set me free and the love that will heal me or make me whole? I don't know that there's any rules in the level 2 workshop about revealing exercises that are done. I know in level 1 workshop there's exercises that are done that we don't talk about, because when people do level 1, they need to be able to be in a place of spontaneity and a place of surprise and a place of discovery, and give the mind an opportunity to rationalize and plan things. You absolutely destroy the spontaneity of the exercise. And yet I don't think the exercise that we did last night is something that necessarily is a workshop type of thing that requires such spontaneity. In fact, I do believe that each one of us, whether we're in the workshop or not, would benefit by the self-examination, by plumbing the depths of our own soul to see how things land on us. So what we did last night, there's 10 participants in the workshop, and what we did is we went around to each other saying, if I have ever judged you, hurt you, or lied to you, consciously or unconsciously, please forgive me. And if I will ever judge you, hurt you, or lie to you, will you forgive me? And each of us did that with each other person and with a mirror, looking at our own self. And as I did the mirror part of the exercise, I realized that no one in my life has ever judged me, hurt me, or lied to me, where I hadn't first done it to myself. Powerful revelation. Realizing that everything that I experience in this world, I experience as a manifestation of my own self-consciousness, an awareness that I project into the world around me that comes from inside of me. Is that not how we create the world we live in? I'm beginning to realize more and more that it is exactly how we create the world we live in, how we have created it. And maybe what we can do about it. Then we were to make a list of 25 or more people that we have not forgiven. And I do a lot of Ho'oponopono in my personal practice. When something comes up, whether it's the lawyers or a judge or the politicians or the bankers or people that play roles that seem to be deceptive and damaging, I have learned to look at that situation, that person, and say, please forgive me. I love you. I'm sorry. The I'm sorry is first, actually. And thank you. Because Spirit has had me for over a year now with the message of taking 100% responsibility for everything in my world. And I mean everything. It's never about them. It's only ever about me. And that's, I guess, in a way, that's growing up. Recognizing that it's about me is growing up. It's taking responsibility. So as I was wanting to make this list, I mean, I can think of people that have judged me. I can think of people that have hurt me in one way or another, or lied to me in one way or another. Both people that I know in my personal life, as well as people in general, like the President of the United States, or the head of the Council on Foreign Relations, or, you know, the head of the World Bank, or whatever, the Illuminati, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The individual. I realize that my judgments are about particular roles and the abuse of those roles, about particular characteristics that people have, and about behaviors. Those are the things that I judge in my life. And I made a list instead of people. I made a list of roles and characteristics and behaviors. And as I went down my own list, introspectively examining each one, I could see some of myself in each one of those roles and each one of those characteristics and behaviors, except for one that I had on the list. I put down child molesters. And I couldn't think of how I could have possibly ever been a child molester. How it just was bred into me by my mom, mostly, to feel such despicable judgment. Abhorrence at the idea of damaging the innocence of a little child. And of course I'm thinking of it in sexual terms. But I'm realizing this morning as I'm meditating here, the reason I don't recognize the child molestation aspect, one, because I was framing it in the relationship to sexuality, but two is because perhaps that's the deepest one of all. That I have wounded my own innocence in my interactions with others. And perhaps the reason I'm so... one of the characteristics that I'm so appalled by in regard to the elite establishment is so many of the elite people that I'm aware of are child molesters, are pedophiles. They're in the churches, they're in the highest levels of government, in the courts, and they permeate the high levels of society, and it's despicable to me. And so I'm carrying this judgment and not realizing that I've wounded my own innocence by not being willing to sit in front of the camera without a shirt on. Something as stupid as that. But it's an indicator of how uncomfortable I am with my own sexuality, number one, with my own body, number two, and with the fact that I'm an explorer, that everybody on this planet in human form came here to explore life, the highs and the lows, the depths and the heights, to explore the what-ifs. What am I able to do? What am I able to create? What am I able to perceive? What am I able to explore? What am I able to experience? To explore life like a little baby, touching, tasting, smelling, using all of the senses to perceive the world around them. And we start teaching the child what's appropriate and what's inappropriate, what's allowed, what's not allowed, what's rewarded, what's punished. And we wound the innocence of human discovery. And I've done it to me, and I bet you've done it to yourself. We don't just simply allow the child to be. So we as adults walk around with wounded inner children that were punished for being genuine and real and just simply exploring and touching and tasting and handling, which the Bible tells me plainly, people that do that destroy themselves. That's the ordinances of man. Touch not, taste not, handle not, which all are to perish with the using, as I remember the King James Version English of that scripture, and I don't remember where it was found, and I didn't look it up. But it's one that I memorized, obviously. Touch not, taste not, handle not. I think it's in Colossians, but I could be wrong. Anyway, oh my goodness, look at the time. I encourage each of you to explore how you judge, how you hurt, and how you lie to yourself, how you wound your own innocence, and to be willing to say, I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you, thank you. When enough of us do that, which I believe we are doing, we change the world. Thank you for letting me share with you this morning without a shirt on. I don't think I'm going to make a habit of it. Namaste.